solutions for youth employment team. So we are primarily work with youth employment projects at the World Bank, and we have partners from across the not-for-profit sectors, the youth themselves, private sector, so that they can have an active dialogue and engagement in World Bank operations. Today, we are super excited to have the International Youth Foundation, which works with youth globally in advancing employment opportunities, amongst other things. We are very psyched to be starting this Women in Unconventional Job series, where we try to feature programs from across the world that work on skilling and employment projects for women in jobs that are predominantly dominated by men. So they have a very interesting ICT program called Conectadas in the southeast part of Mexico, which is one of the most rural parts there, is partnered with Google, trying to advance ICT skills, data science, cybersecurity, you name it, amongst these remote parts in Mexico. So we have our program managers today on the ground working closely with the women, Danny and Nicole, and excited to have you both. Please jump in and give us a little bit of introduction about, why Southeast Mexico, and how did this program come about, and what are its main components?
Yes, thank you very much for having us today, Apurva. We're thrilled to share this space with you. And to start off this conversation, we would like to tell you a little bit about the story of Susana, a 2022 graduate from Conectadas Southeast program. Because we believe that her story really exemplifies the context of the southeastern states of Mexico that we work with. So Susana's father passed away when she was only 3 years old. And after that, her mom and her sister lived by themselves. Her mom had to take care of them. So she really grew up with many economic deprivations. And just like Susana, young women in southeastern states of Mexico face the highest degrees of vulnerability in the country. Most states in the South have geographical, social, or cultural challenges, and these factors really limit the personal and professional development of young women. So going back to Susana's story, during her time at university, her sister, became ill, and this forced her to stop her studies and look for a job to support her family. Fortunately, she managed to find a remote job in technical support, and this was at that point an area that was already aligned with Susana's professional aspirations. But not everyone or every woman has the luck of Susana's to find a job that really contributes to their financial stability, right? So even less when women study or their studies are outside the IT sector. So we see Susana's struggles as an example of what happens in most families in southeastern Mexico, who daily face various problems that put them in situations where women have to prioritize their family before their professional development. So during her search, Susana found about our program and she enrolled in Conectada Southeast. And I would like to share that in her own words, in the many conversations we've had with her, she has expressed that she decided to take the certification for two main reasons. The first one, because she wanted to challenge herself. You told me that no one believed that she was capable of pursuing a career in ICT, and also she took this as an opportunity to prove herself and others that she was capable. So this is just a little bit of the context that we face every day. We have many other stories like this one, and I'll pass it on to Nicole to jump in with a little bit more about the program.
You, Danny, and again, thank you for the space, Apurva. We're happy to be here, and I think we would like to go deep in what is Conectada Sureste. It is a 2.5-year implementation of a virtual program that provides technical and socio-emotional skills training for 2,300 young women between the ages of 16 to 29. who have not completed a 4-year higher education program, and that have a genuine interest in IT sector and that live in the states of the southeastern Mexico that we can see represented in the map of the slides. And all of this has been possible thanks to a donation from google.org. The program is designed under 4 main components. The first one and the biggest one is the technical component that is over 12 weeks. I will pass the slide to the main components. Now here you have it. The first and the biggest one is a technical content. This is a 12-week program, and it's the total duration of the program, and the participants gain technical skills with the Google IT Support Certificate in this specific part. And while this certificate features a technical curriculum pathway that is highly required in the technology industry today. The second component is the socio-emotional skills training. Here you have it, and it is through the International Youth Foundation's manual, Passport to Success. The participants develop and practice life skills that are in high demand in the job market and that are extremely helpful in their personal and professional paths, all within a safe learning environment that always encourages group reflection. The third component is composed by all the complementary activities. They were made to ensure that the participants are prepared to enter the labor market. The program offers workshops on insertion and transition to a professional career. The fourth component is the mentoring. This component was integrated to help the participants build their confidence and define a career path. In these sessions, young women receive personalized support through mentors who act as positive role models. This also helps them to know how to overcome some difficulties that they are going through. Also, we included 3 additional elements that you can see on screen too. First one is the linkage to employment through talks with IT clusters in Mexico, and also the creation of IYF's job portal to approach graduates to potential opportunities. Another is that we have tutors that support our girls from day 1 till the end of the implementation. And the last is the introduction activities of the first week of the program. All of these efforts made a very holistic program that we share with you today.
Thank you so much, Daniela and Nicole. I think that was a fantastic introduction about the program components. We mentioned Southeast Mexico a few times. So would love to hear a little bit about what it is like. What is the context there? Why women in ICT? What is it like for, women? What are the cultural, social, emotional, other barriers that kind of restrict women from entering, fields like data science, cybersecurity, and other STEM fields, especially in these rural areas?
Share the next slide. We have some very interesting facts that we want to share with you about the insertion of women and why inserting women in the IT sector is a great opportunity. First of all, while the growth of the technology sector represents a great opportunity to add more women to the labor market and to close the existing gender gaps. Here you can see some statistics. While in the IT field, the demand of jobs increased by 88% in vacancies, and there are more or less 140,000 unoccupied jobs in IT every year. For a woman, entering this field is a greater link with a stable jobs and better working conditions, in addition to the possibility of earning an income 56% higher than the average income of employed women in Mexico. I will pass it over to Dani so she can complement the response.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I can speak about the barriers that we have faced daily in the implementation of this program. We believe that this is a very important question to answer in this space, because we have many, and we have some to share with you. So the first one that we identify is that the promotion of education for men and women in Mexico is very, very unequal. For example, at the household level, the level of importance normally established, um, does not favor women. So, for example, women are expected to help with housework and caring their younger siblings over attending school. And so, for this reason, the program is working on an awareness campaign that aims to talk to parents, employers, and young women about the benefits that are obtained when we support the education of young women. What we want to do here is to motivate all these stakeholders to build a support network that encourages and promotes ICT as a possibility of integral growth for women. Sorry. Another barrier that we face daily, and it's pretty obvious, are gender stereotypes in ICT. In some places in Southeast Mexico, there is still this idea that there are careers that are only meant for women and there are others that are only meant for men. So one of the main reasons why young women are not interested in the IT sector is because they don't have any references that help them inspire them. So for this reason, we include the component of mentoring and talks with role models that Nicole just mentioned earlier, where we bring our students women with different career paths that can be role models and inspirations in their careers. And now you were also talking about a little bit about the strategies that we implemented to face these challenges, and I can speak about some of them too. For example, all the communication that we generate to disseminate the program in the southeastern states of Mexico is completely focused on women. So we use colors, phrases that inspire them to be part of the program. And in this, I would like to highlight that we take great care of the elements that we use so that they are aligned with the women of the southeast of Mexico. And that is that we seek that young women can see themselves reflected and also identify with the program. So in addition to this, we've encouraged our graduates, students like Susana in the beginning of our conversation to share their success stories, to show that despite all the barriers that they can face, it is still possible to achieve what they want. And finally, we have also worked really hard to promote and build efforts and partner with local governments and their ministries to promote the program and build trust within the communities and each state in the southeast part of Mexico. And with this, we expect to have long-lasting change.
Great, thank you so much. I think this is a very interesting, especially the component on gender barriers, and which are so nuanced and so cultural. And it's been proven all over the world that role models truly inspire women to do. Uh, to take on roles, to take on very courageous projects, to take off the beaten path. So, I mean, one final question to you both: what are the key lessons during this you think that can be replicated and scaled across different contexts and regions? Because I come from India, and we have a lot of rural parts, and we work with a lot of our counterparts in sub-Saharan Africa. The you know things might not be exactly the same, but I'm sure some of these lessons will be impactful in those programs there as well, especially in the most remote parts. So, any final comments and insights on this?
Yes, of course, Apurva. Thank you. Well, to achieve the objectives of the program, it was first necessary to understand and be sensitive about the context that just Danny shared. We could not apply the same enrollment strategy or implementation strategies that we had been using with the north and center of the country, and it was decided to adapt some things. We decided to adapt the socio-emotional PTS curricula into a more diverse, equal, and inclusive content, considering the indigenous people and cultures of the region. Also, we cannot assume that all young women in the Southeast have a computer and internet connection at home. Many families do not even have electricity due many conditions, even nature conditions. And since we cannot give computers to all of them, we have to do many changes. One of them is that the tutors provide one-to-one support for the girls to solve problems and to help them with activities that are difficult for them. For example, sometimes participants do not have internet connection or access to a computer. So tutors have adapted strategies to work with them from their cell phones and even to some public internet connections. This flexibility has helped us to maintain retention levels over the 75%. Also, I think it is important to mention that the program is 100% virtual, and some young women in the Southeast do not master the technologies yet. So we wanted to include an activity that could easily bring them closer to the use of digital tools without making it look like an evaluation and causing them to drop out. So during the first week of the program, we included integration activities and guidance sessions on how to approach to IT support. And just to finalize, we found out that we can reduce the probability of desertion if we encourage the community building within the groups. And we have seen great results. We have seen strangers becoming friends by the end of the implementation.
Yeah.
That's yes, Daniela, please go on if
No,
you have
no.
anything
Oh
further
yeah,
to add.
I was just going to add that that part about community building is something that many graduates have highlighted and are really excited about because you know we tend to see that these kind of careers are very male dominated, and when they see a bigger community of women, they get excited and motivated too. So I just wanted to add that the process of learning and adapting our program to the Southern context has allowed many of our graduates to achieve their goals and feel confident in the use of technologies. So just going back to the case of Susana that we brought up earlier, we're happy to see that all of these components combined with her motivation and resilience have allowed her to achieve her goals. And so, for example, she is a first generation university woman in her family, and Conectadas Saudis contributed to change her labor perspective. She highlights that our 12-week program not only helped her obtain technical knowledge, as we would have expected from a certificate from Google, but also she got life skills such as personal finance or the creation of professional portfolios, and she has even expressed that her confidence was boosted. So this certification really allowed her to get better job opportunities, and we're happy to see this result not only in Susana, but in all or most of our graduates who challenge themselves and come and take this course.
Super. Great. Thank you so much, Daniela and Nicole. I think we can keep, speaking more and more about this very interesting program and highlighting that community is so important. I think in terms of, you mentioned tutoring, like one-on-one support, because, that's a big component in not losing confidence in oneself when, somebody is helping you in a not judgmental way. And you can always rely on this community for, for jobs, for net support for other problems or challenges at home which are not professional, and that really helps strengthen the community. So thank you for highlighting that. Thank you IYF for all the effort and insights that you've created, you provided for this specific Women for Unconventional Job Learning series. There are more such very interesting programs by this organization, which is linked in our description below. So please check it out. Thank you, and hope to cover more such programs in the future.